I'm gonna start off this video by saying I am incredibly scared for the future of Warzone 2. So I played Warzone 2 early, and let me tell you, I don't know what to expect. This game has incredible amounts of potential, but it also has the opportunity to be incredibly bad. I'm gonna start off by saying I'm not here to bash Call of Duty. I am actually a Call of Duty partner. I love COD. I'm here to literally bring the COD community up and make the game the best that it possibly can. All right, I'm gonna be going over the cons first, all right? I'm gonna be dividing this into two sections. I'm gonna be going over literally the most detrimental cons that there is in Warzone 2, and then things that I think should be changed that is a con, but it's not that important. First and foremost, we're gonna go over the movement. Right now, the game has taken a drastic turn in the way it feels. Right now, it feels like you're walking around with a 20-pound weighted vest. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of this. They took off slide canceling, which I'm not gonna lie, is okay. It's not the end of the world, but I do believe there are better ways to incorporate slide canceling and other movement mechanics. Let's break this down. Let's remember that Call of Duty is a arcade-style, fast-paced, first-person shooter. So in my opinion, I think that Call of Duty should be leaning towards that, not kind of moving away from that. So I understand why people don't like slide canceling. Slide canceling is a broken movement mechanic. It breaks cameras, I understand. But because of slide canceling, it introduced something else entirely, which is a movement meta, a movement skill gap. So let's backtrack, right? If we decide to take off slide canceling, right, and we decide to just make it right now the way the beta feels / alpha of Warzone, it's going to be a just pre-aim heavy game. A lot of the old heads, I'm not old people, but people who love the older CODs are gonna say, oh, that's the way it should be. In my opinion, slide canceling is the perfect in-between. Right now, the build, let's say we have a slider, right? It's insane movement mechanics or insane skill gap, and then just pure bot city. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a bot or if you're a pro, like, as long as you pre-aim, you're gonna win. That's kind of where we're at right now with the slider. If I had to put it in a spectrum, the slider right now is like all the way over here. All it is, if you look at the beta, if you look at the alpha, it's whoever pre-aims, whoever sound whores. There's really no skill involved. So in my opinion, I think slide canceling is the best of both worlds. Let's say they decide to not include slide canceling. There's still many ways to introduce a skill gap. Let's go over one thing right now that I think will improve this, right? So if you're not gonna add slide canceling, at least make it to where you're able to shoot whenever you slide. As of right now, there really is no point into sliding. If you're sliding, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Pretty much, sliding right now is useless. You can slide cancel, right? We've seen so many, things on YouTube of slide cancel. Shotzi made one. All these people made tutorials. But right now, there is a delay after slide canceling where you can't shoot your gun. So really, slide canceling, there is no purpose to it right now. It doesn't make a difference. If you're able to shoot your gun in the middle of a slide, it'll make the slide so much more usable, because right now, I literally disabled it. I know pros who disable their slide because there is no use for it. If there's one thing that I think will save this Call of Duty without introducing slide canceling back, I think you increase the strafing speed, the ADS strafing speed, and the ADS firing speed. What that means is, guys, is you're able to, whenever you're aiming down sight and you shoot your gun, you move side to side faster. Or whenever you aim down sight and you're not shooting, you just strafe side to side, you make that faster. I think they should add an increase to ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, pull up time, and pull out time, guys. Those are all things that I think drastically need to be increased. So in my opinion, I think the best thing to make this better is to increase those speeds. Also, just plain movement speed needs to be raised. So I'm talking walking speed, I'm talking running speed, I'm talking tactical sprint speed. All of this needs to be raised a significant amount because, like I said, everything just feels slow. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna get into is the second detrimental thing that I think needs to be fixed, and that is looting. In my opinion, there are a lot of things that Warzone 1 for Dons did amazing, right? And I think the looting system is that. I think right now, looting system is perfect the way it is. The way they implemented this is it's called vomit loot. For example, you open a chest, everything spills out, you can pick it up off the ground. There is no UI that stops you from pretty much playing the game in Warzone 1 at the moment. With the integration of Warzone 2, they added this HUD, and it just makes for a very clunky feel and not natural. When a game is optimized and it feels intuitive, you know exactly like, oh, this belongs here. I'll be honest, Joe, you guys know Joe, he made an example. He's like, it feels like I'm in the game, then I have to pause the game. Like, I take myself out of the game, I sort my loot, and then I go back into the game. That's the way it feels like when I'm playing this game. When I'm playing Warzone, it just feels like clunky. It feels like I'm spending half my time figuring out what to put in my inventory, how to put in my inventory, when in reality, like, Call of Duty did it perfect before. If they just implement that back into the system, I think the game is going to be incredibly good. Bring back vomit looting, separate the gun classes with colors, right? The way it is right now. That way, you know, medics, syringes, all that, make them red. All the guns, make them a certain color. Make gold your custom class. Make, you know, purple, blue, green, the way it is right now. Let it be colored. Right now, it just feels incredibly clunky. I really, really do not like the looting system. I think talking to a lot of the content creators at the event, 99% of them hated the looting system. I think this is the main feedback that Warzone is getting right now. One thing I will say is I enjoy the backpack feature. So what this is, guys, is you have your general normal inventory, which is, you know, magazines for AR, sniper, all that stuff. You have your Nethos tacticals, but then you have an extra 5 slots of backpack space. You can have 5 gas masks if you want. But the thing is, it's not intuitive. It feels clunky. It feels messy. I really think the looting in general should be done away with. And I think vomit loot is the best solution. Go back to that. Find a way to implement the backpack system while having vomit loot. And I think we're in for an amazing year. All right, last but not least, the most important thing that I think Warzone 2 needs is an increase in lobby size. Now, hold on. I know during the event, it was only 102 players. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that's the way it's gonna be. I think that was just for the playtest, and I don't think there's gonna be that many people in, or that little people in the map. In my opinion, I think adding 200 to 150 players is the perfect sweet spot to this. I even think 150 is too low. In my opinion, I'm gonna go ahead and say 175 to 215, 225, whatever it may be. I just think, in my opinion, if I had to choose, if I was Dev, I would just say 200. Again, I have not play tested this. I don't know. I'm just telling you from how it felt. It felt like there was nobody on that map. That map is massive, which I think is awesome. Like, if the map is that big, I think the player size should resemble that as well. If the map is 10% bigger than Caldera, then there should be 10% more people than Caldera. Even then, I feel like Caldera was way too little people with 120. We should be going, like I said, we should be moving towards that fast-paced, arcade-style first-person shooter that Call of Duty is known for. That's what made Warzone 1 amazing. So why are we moving away from that? The lobby size is one of those things that I think will make or break a game. If you have a game that has, you know, this huge map with only 100 players, that's going to be a slow game. For example, back when Verdansk, I think Verdansk was 150 people, perfect example. That was, I think, a good balance. Then you added the 200 players, and even then, I still thought that was incredibly fun. But again, I am a more competitive player than I am a casual player. So I understand 150 was perfect. It made for a good sense of both catering to both play styles. I'm curious to see what they decide to put the player count up, but in my opinion, I really, really think 200 players is going to be perfect, especially with the zone changes. I think that'll be good. So now I'm going to get into things that are still a con, but in my opinion, if they're not changed, they're not going to be detrimental to the game. I still think some of these really, really need to be fixed. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, AIs. Not a single person I've talked to has said they liked it. They all hated it, but that's fine. I understand why AIs are in the game, but they need to have a purpose. AIs, when introduced correctly, are actually not a bad idea. They're fun, right? For example, Caldera, right now, you buy $10,000 loot bag, and then from there, AIs drop in, you fight these AIs, you wait like 2 minutes, and then you get specialist bonus and advanced UAV and foresight. Those are all things that are worth killing AIs, right? You get something amazing with the AIs, and then you get something amazing from that. You know what I'm saying? So that is the way it should be implemented. Right now, maybe it was just the alpha. Who knows? Everything I'm saying could be, they could change it because it was just the alpha, but I'm only have the alpha to use as a baseline. In my opinion, right now, AIs are in quite literally every single building. I think that AI should only be in strongholds or in really, really high looted areas. Right now, they're quite literally in every building. It defeats the purpose, and it takes off that quote unquote dopamine levels of getting a kill. It's like, oh, it's just a bot. It doesn't matter. Another thing that I think needs to be addressed about AIs is there needs to be a way to determine what is an AI and what is an actual person. I couldn't tell who I was fighting. Was I fighting a bot or was I fighting a real person? There needs to be a way to distinguish the two, in my opinion. All right, now we're gonna get into the second thing, loadouts. I know a lot of people might hate this, but I'm not completely against taking off loadouts. What I am against is completely taking off the ability to customize your gun. A big reason why Warzone 1 succeeded was because you could make your own class. You had your creativity in a game. You could do literally anything you want. You could make your gun, you make an AR a sniper. You can make an AR a sub. You can make a sub an AR. You could do whatever you wanted, and it was all up to your creativity. So for those of you who don't know, the way they changed this is it's a little bit different. There is no longer going to be loadouts, but you are able to buy custom guns. So this mechanic was not working when we played the alpha, but based off the information that I gathered playing the alpha, I understand the way this is gonna work. There's this menu that popped up whenever we were buying our guns, and there was two M4s. One of them was $4,000 and the other one was $15,000. I bought both custom guns. The one that was $4,000 had no attachments on it, and the one that was $14,000 had a barrel, a underbarrel, a scope, a suppressor. It was nuts. So that goes to show you the way this is gonna work is you're gonna be able to make your custom class before you hop into Al Mazrah. Now listen, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's an okay idea, but there's no reason for the gun to be $14,000. Let's go back to Warzone 1. You're in squads. It costs $10,000 to get a gun for each of your teammates. That's 2 guns for each of your teammates. That's 8 guns in total. This buy system is now charging you $14,000 just to get 1 gun. You're playing squads and 4 of your guys want to buy a gun. 14,000 times 4. I don't know. I'm not a math major, but that's a lot of money. All right. So how do we fix this? In my opinion, I think the maximum attachments you add to your gun, so 5 attachments, should only cost you $5,000. If you want to do 1,000 per attachment, that's fine. In my opinion, this is the best way to go about it. Right now, it makes the guns incredibly unattainable. So in my opinion, I think the way to fix that is to just reduce the amount per gun. All right, number 3, not so detrimental cons, but need to be fixed, is buy stations. It felt like there was no buy stations in general. It was literally like you had to run 3 POIs to find a buy station. It didn't feel like there was a lot there. Now, the biggest concern, in my opinion, was not even that there wasn't a lot of buys, but there was only 1 kill streak in every buy. So I could be wrong because I didn't really look at too many buys. I literally probably only went to 2 buys, but from what it seemed like, there was only 1 random kill streak in every buy station. For example, one time I opened it up, it was 1 UAV that you could buy. There was no airstrike, there was no cluster strikes, there was nothing else. There was no other kill streak except for a UAV. That alone is already making for the game to be even more slower than it already is. Again, I feel like we're heading towards Battlefield, towards PUBG. The game just feels very, very slow. So a lot of the looting and a lot of the kill streaks are gonna be RNG. It's just gonna be whatever the game gives you, which I understand a lot of people in the comments are gonna be like, oh, that's what a BR should be. Well, not Call of Duty. There's a reason why Call of Duty BR is so good and why it popped off the way it did. It's because it's not just all RNG. There's a way to control the RNG. Another thing is the UI for the buy stations. Right now, it doesn't feel natural. It feels clunky. It feels like there's so many things you have to go through. I just don't know what was wrong with the old one. So how do we fix this? Let's go over the UI first. My opinion, I think we should go back to the old UI where it's staggered like that of everything that you can buy. And then it's categorized between 2 subsections. You press L1, R1 to go between sections. The first section is kill streak / equipment. Then you press R1, then it goes to your loadout. You buy your loadout or you upgrade your loadout. That's the way I think it should be. It feels more intuitive than this, which just, it feels like a puzzle right now with the UI. Now to the buy stations. Like I said, there's not a lot. I think we add an abundance of that. I think everybody should have the opportunity to buy things and not have to buy or travel or drive 3 POIs to find one of those. I think they should implement every single kill streak into every single buy. I understand they don't want to have unlimited kill streaks. That's understandable. At least make it so there's at least 3 per kill streak in the inventory. All right, coming in at number 4, the armor system. This is one of those things that I think was absolutely perfect, and Call of Duty killed it with Warzone 1. They had it perfect. Now, the way it works is you have to go find a satchel to get 3 plates. You explain. You start off with a 2-plate inventory, right? You are not able to put on 3 plates unless you find a satchel. Once you find the satchel, you are now able to have 3 plates on. In my opinion, again, it makes for more RNG. You're gonna have to go loot around, try to find a satchel. And I'm gonna be honest, out of the 3 games I played, I was only able to find a satchel once, I believe. So they're not in abundance. So that means there's gonna be a lot of people with only 2 plates. A lot of people dying very quickly. And if you're trying to cater towards casuals, I think everybody should be on the same playfield as far as armor goes. Now, how do we fix this? Again, pretty simple. Just revert back to the old style of putting on armor. A couple things with armor. It feels like it's a lot slower to put on. So in my opinion, I think you increase the armor putting on speed. you go back to the 3-plate system. No satchel needed. Just everybody starts off with 2 plates, but you can put on a third one if you find one on the floor. And then, most importantly, I don't know if this was a bug, but you couldn't run and put on plates. Right now, I know in Warzone you can. So I think that is something that also is making the game feel more clunky. All right, coming in number 5 is the Gulag. All right, again, I don't think AI should be in any game, but if you're gonna put it in there, let there be a purpose behind it. Right now, there's a clip of me shooting an AI thinking it's a person for like 100 shotgun bullets and he just doesn't die. The whole point of the Gulag, it's a 2v2, but there's an AI in there that has a key. You can either kill your opponents or kill the AI and you get a key and you run away. I don't really know the point of that unless I'm understanding it wrong. There really should be no AI in my opinion. The way to improve this, on how to fix this, is just do straight up 2v2 gunfight. Whoever wins escapes. That's it. I think it was a great method. I think it's something that's going to change up the game. I know a lot of people are going to hate it because it's, oh, 1v1s, but there must be change for there to make progress. And I understand that. I'm not completely, biased, and I don't want to just keep everything the same. I like a lot of these changes that, Infinity Ward is doing, but I think there's a lot of things that they're going a little too much on and they can dial back. Gulag is an example. Coming in number 6 is spectating. Oh my God. Okay, so I thought this was a bug. I thought spectating was just bugged to where like you can only see just people's guns. You can't see actually what's going on. It's like a weird, like out of sight camera angle. It's called a helmet cam, right? I thought it was a bug, and come to find out, after I left the venue, they were like, no, that's intentional. That's the way spectating is going to be. My opinion, that is a huge mistake. A lot of us like to be able to see who we died to, or, anybody. We want to spectate and see how good their gun skills, or even how bad their gun skills, or with the things that they do. Right now, we don't get to see how good they're shooting. We don't get to see if they're missing shots. It's just a random helmet off to the side of your screen that takes up like 1/3 of your screen, and then a gun that's off-centered. It doesn't feel intuitive. In my opinion, I think you just add a toggle. For example, back in the day, there was press triangle to toggle first person / third person perspective. And this one, I think the same thing. Toggle first person the way we normally have spectating, and then press triangle to toggle the helmet cam. I think if it's just helmet cam, Tim, I'm sorry, but spectating videos are chalked, man. Coming in number 7 is reloading. Reloading, in my opinion, is not that detrimental as a lot of people are saying. I do think it should be fixed, but if they don't, it is what it is. Our muscle memory will pick up on it and we'll learn. Every gun has a different reloading speed, a different reloading animation. The way reloading works now is it has a memory of where your last reload was. For example, you're reloading, right? You're using an MP5. As soon as you take off the mag, if you YY and stop that reload, your mag technically is still going to be out of its mag. It's like real life, right? So then you'll have to come back, plug it in, and then cock it, and then you're good to go. Some ARs don't do that. They flip up a strap, pull the thing back, right? And then they take off the mag. So if you YY from, let's say, whenever you flip up the strap and pull it back, and you YY, you're still able to shoot your gun because you haven't taken the mag off. If you YY when the mag is off, then you're gonna have to redo that. Not redo it. You're gonna have to go from where the mag is still off, plug it in, cock it back, and then you're able to shoot. So there's kind of a memory to reloading now. I don't think it's that big of a deal as a lot of people are making it. I do think it should be reverted because we've had it for 15 years the same way, and I think it's just weird. But you want to add realism into the game, I understand it. I think there's more important issues. So enough bashing on the game. Let's go with the pros. And let me tell you, there are some amazing things. The number 1 pro out of this entire Warzone experience is the map. I'm genuinely speechless at the way the map turned out, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. This map looks beautiful. Everything from the design of the map, the way it flows. As of right now, from what I got to play, keep in mind, I only got to play 3 games, but everything looked beautiful. There was not a lot of, foliage, I don't know what it's called, but like Caldera, the map plays amazing, right? This alone right here is why I believe I am not scared for Warzone 2. I am not terrified, don't get me wrong, but I believe the potential for Warzone 2 is incredibly high. Let me give you an example. Caldera, in my opinion, was not a good map at all. The flow of the map, the peak being at the highest level, it just made it for, you're constantly looking up, climbing up a mountain. You're out in the open. It wasn't the greatest map. I'm gonna give a shout out to the team at Raven Software because listen, the map itself was really bad, but they added the most insane things to the game that made Caldera way, way better. At the end of the day, the map was still horrible, but all the things, balloons, perks, all these things that made the game incredibly fun were added to the game after, which made Caldera bearable. Right now, the map for Warzone 2, Al Mazrah, is really, really good. All the other things can be changed. Movement can be changed. Looting system can be changed. Player count can be changed. What cannot be changed is the map. That's why I am not scared at all for Warzone 2, because if the map is good, everything else can be fixed. Coming in at number 2 is the way the guns feel. These guns look and feel amazing. It literally feels like you have an actual AR, actual LMG in your hand. It feels great. The guns have recoil. Finally, there is recoil, and I like that. It's going to add a little bit of a skill gap. It's not going to be a crazy skill gap, but it is. The guns sound so amazing, feel so amazing. Everything about the guns look great. And this is just alpha, so I can just imagine the graphics are about to get way better. So map and the way the guns feel, amazing. Overall, they did a great job at the aesthetics of the game. So now the number 3 thing that I love about Warzone 2 is the closing circle change. All right, now hold on. I know a lot of y'all are gonna be like, oh my God, that's horrible, that's horrible. It's different, I understand, but let me tell you why it's a good change. So for those of y'all who don't know, instead of there being one big circle that drastically closes like every other BR, right? This is now going to be 3 to 4 to 2 circles that constantly close in different sections of the map. So what they did was they finally found a solution to middle game and how boring it is in BRs. The way this works is there's going to be multiple circles closing at one time. So there is going to be constant action every single time. And I promise y'all, it's going to be fun. One of the biggest things that's going to make or break this is the player size. If the player size is at 100 or 150, it might still feel slow. If the player size goes to 200, 225, then I think this is going to be an incredible change to the game. The only suggestion I think for the closing circle that I think could be good is just maybe incorporate the one circle back every once in a while. So switch between 1, 2, 3, and 4 circles every once in a while, and just for there to always be storylines. Now, last but not least, the thing that I really, really enjoyed about Warzone 2 is the audio. Everybody's been asking for this, and in the beta that we tested, or the alpha that we tested, the audio was amazing. You could tell the difference between if somebody's stepping on wood, somebody's stepping on concrete, somebody's stepping on dirt, somebody's stepping on water. It sounds amazing. It makes you feel like you're in the game. I didn't really get to test above and below because, I'm gonna be honest, we didn't run into that many people. Let's hope they fix the player count, right? But directional cues, as far as if you're on the same playing field, you can hear everything perfect. If there's one thing we're taking away is a lot of these things that we've been asking for, like change the map, everybody hated Caldera, change the audio, everybody hated the audio, is now fixed. And I think we're in for a good year if they change all those detrimental things. All in all, I think Warzone 2 is going to be an amazing game, but I am scared if the game stays the way it is at the alpha. It's an alpha. I don't expect it to be finished, but I was there to play test this game, so I'm going to give my feedback, and I'm going to tell them exactly how I feel. In my opinion, right now, Warzone 2 was catered for DMZ. The same way that back in the day, multiplayer was kind of catered towards Warzone, and it kind of ruined the experience for multiplayer. It's the same thing that's happening, but now it's Warzone is now catered to DMZ, and I pray it doesn't ruin the Warzone experience. And what if DMZ doesn't do good? Then they ruined all of Warzone for DMZ. I think they know what they're doing. It's gonna be amazing, but I really think they should keep Warzone the way Warzone is and DMZ the way DMZ is. Listen, man, at the end of the day, I just want Call of Duty to succeed. I hope that one day Call of Duty is the most watched game in the world. Will that happen? I don't know. Am I hopeful? Yes. What I'm doing right now is literally giving my feedback, hoping that this gets to somebody and they see it and they see what the community wants and they implement it. So guys, let me know what you thought about the video. I know it's a lot. Listen, I know we're all scared, but I really think the devs are gonna do what's right.